Well, I hope wherever you are, spring has had a chance to really spring, and that you're enjoying good weather, colorful flowers. And since we're still in the Easter season, one of the poets said a while back that, we really want to let Christ Easter in us. So I hope you have an opportunity to allow that to happen as well. Here we are, we're 1 year and 1 month into a pandemic, and we're muddling through as we have for the year and 1 month, and we're looking to a future. And maybe muddle is too strong a word. I'm very confident at Loughlin we've done pretty well to meet the challenges. The faculty has responded well. They've adapted to online learning. They've studied. They've learned what they need to do. Our students, for the most part, have adapted, but the problems our students have are the problems you'll hear from any student that's doing online learning. But we're working hard to keep them accountable. I suppose that's the major difference in our situation. We're working hard to make sure that students, even in a virtual world, are accountable for learning. And so we're doing that. And how do we do it? We do it for some students, they are completely remote. They don't come into school at all. For other students, they're in a hybrid model. So they come into school one day and then they're home the next. And then for some students, we've allowed the option because of the numbers that are at play here to come in all the time if they choose to. So we're floating 3 different kinds of categories. And so it's working. It's working. And so for that, we're happy. Although it has its problems, and that's real. One of the things we've been doing here, we've been extremely conscious throughout the entire pandemic of maintaining the health and safety of our students, our faculty, our staff. So what we've continued to do throughout this is we've tested on a regular basis. We know whether anyone has been exposed to the virus, and if they've been exposed, we're able to notify them, notify families, notify teachers, notify staff, and they're able then to remove themselves from the community so that the community stays healthy and they're able to recover and recuperate. Many folks now at this stage of the game have received vaccination, so that also is an added factor in our safety. The maintenance staff has done a yeoman's job of making sure that the plant has remained cleaned and sanitized. So all the things that needed to happen have, and we're going to continue that moving into the future. Here we are in April, so as we're in the month of April, of course, it's kind of natural to start thinking about the end of the school term. And of course, the audience that's most conscious of that are our senior students. And after last year, boy, those poor kids in last year's class had a tough go of it. We held out, and we are proud to say we were able to do an in-person graduation in August. And it was a very good experience for families and for students. And we're very pleased about that. This year, we've committed to do another outdoor graduation, and we'll do it at the time we've planned for graduation, which is early June. That's exciting. We've done it once. We know we can do it again. I think it will be a very memorable occasion for both students and families. After all, I think any of you that I'm talking to, you know what it was like for your families to see you graduate, whether it was from St. Augustine, Loughlin, or Bishop McDonald. They were proud, and our families are equally as proud. So graduation day is really a family celebration. We're also thinking of having a prom. We've committed to a prom. Now, how exactly that prom will look, that's not so certain even now. But we're looking at options, and we have probably 3 on the table. But the point is that the kids will be able to have some kind of a safe environment to assemble and to celebrate their senior year. And that's important to us. Now, since we're looking at the end of 1 year, that's going to bring us to looking forward to the next, and that is an exciting proposition. First of all, what always matters is admissions. It's the lifeblood of the school. And so recruiting a freshman class in this particular time is a slow go. But the old adage, slow and steady wins the race, is exactly what's at play here. Mr. Gonzalez, who's our director of admissions, he's very clear in saying it's one at a time, one at a time, one at a time. And he works consistently at that. So I anticipate that we will attain our goal for enrollment, and that will put us in a good place. And it will continue through the summer months, but it usually does for us. That's not unusual. We've been doing a rolling admissions policy for quite a while. And so we have students, of course, who have taken the exam for admission to Catholic high schools, and we have students who don't. It is interesting to note that with the closure of the Catholic elementary schools in Brooklyn and Queens, and particularly in Brooklyn, we have become much more reliant on the relationships we've built with public and charter schools, because there really are so few Catholic academies in this borough. And it's challenging because there are no really site visits for our counselors. The tax test takers are down. But you know what? Those are challenges to be overcome. And we're more than prepared to meet them. And so we will do what we do best. Just keep plugging away and we'll succeed. Good news is that Boys Hope, Girls Hope, the program that we've partnered with as a residential program, and has been, for us, a program for young men, and the program for young women was at another school in Brooklyn. They have decided to send all students to Bishop Loughlin. So next year, we will be receiving girls from Boys Hope, Girls Hope. They don't yet have a residential program for the young women, but they will be participating in all other aspects, all the support services that are offered through that absolutely extraordinary program. So that is another way in which our efforts will be enhanced. Now, we've all lived in a year that's not only been fraught with the pandemic, but it's also been tense around issues of equity and race relations. And we've done some significant things to address some of those areas. In one instance, we've had students, faculty, and parents participate in a diocesan listening session to talk about what their experience has been like. I'm happy to report that for the Loughlin students and the folks who were part of this listening panel were very much surprised. Loughlin students spoke of their experience as being family. So when they were pressing them on certain aspects of maybe feeling unfairly treated or not treated equally, the students were perplexed and pushed back and say that that's not their experience. So that was a wonderful, very wonderful event for us. Our Lasallian youth, and you may have read about this in prior communications, they led a session for the District of Eastern North America Lasallian youth leadership around the question of racial equity. And they did a wonderful job. So our students made Loughlin proud. We also, for the faculty, are inviting Brother Ernest Miller, who is the Chief Equity Officer at LaSalle University in Philadelphia, to come and spend some time with our faculty in the very near future, to begin to surface how we as a faculty can talk to one another about sensitive issues, and in turn then how can the faculty engage our student population in that kind of discussion as well. And not only the faculty, I'm really proud, as you've heard me say, that our parent association has really blossomed. They are an extraordinary group of folks. Well, the parent association recently reached out to say they want to host a meeting between the community affairs officers of the local 8-8 precinct and our own students, so that they can have a discussion and dialogue about perceptions around police and law enforcement. This will be a wonderful experience, and I'm just so encouraged by their proactive stance to help us address concerns that really need our attention. So they continue to just be a marvelous support for us. Now, soon enough, we'll be finishing the envelope of the building, the exterior aspects. We've done the pointing. It looks great. We're going to be doing the principal's patio. That's what we call that space between the offices here. And that will be undertaken over the summer. And we hope to have completed by the fall then a ramp that will allow the building to be handicapped accessible in a better way than it is currently. Repairs will be made on some of those things, sidewalks that need to be repaired. Bricks will be put in place that will create a walkway that will be a memorial of people and events that are dear to us and have played a role in our success, possibly. So we are looking forward to that work starting, and quite honestly, more to it finishing. And we want to get it done before school starts because we don't want to have too much noise. The other thing that's happening is that we're looking at expanding our Project Lead the Way labs, particularly our biomedical science piece. We've had our eye on and have raised sufficient funds through your generosity to acquire an animatage table, which is an incredibly wonderful piece of technology that will allow students to engage in anatomy, physiology in ways unimaginable. It's just extraordinary. We've also have a partnership established with St. John's University where some of our students are already experiencing some of that, although certainly much limited in the time of COVID. And then the other thing that we're looking to doing, and this is exciting, is we're looking to grow what we're offering students by way of programming and coding so that their skills in this area will be enhanced and they'll be better prepared to meet the challenge that will face them in college. So I guess as I take the time to share with you this perspective, I hope you can hear that we have our challenges, we're prepared to meet those challenges, and we have exciting things that we have yet to accomplish and that we're going to be moving forward on so that Loughlin, despite a COVID pandemic, will be growing and we will be enhancing the opportunities available to our students. Now, you make that possible. So thank you for your support, for all you've done to make this great institution better. Thank you for the people from Bishop McDonald, for the work you've done to continue the mission of that wonderful school on Eastern Parkway. It lives in our students, particularly our young women. And for the men from St. Augustine's, you are, after all, brothers' boys, to use a very old phrase, and that what you're doing is letting that Lasallian mission to provide a Christian and human education to the young with a special concern for the poor to thrive. So I want to thank you all for all you've done. And of course, Loughlin alums for your loyalty, for your generosity, all across the board. Be well, enjoy the spring. I look forward to summer and hopefully an opportunity to do a bit more. And some of you, I may even see at the golf outing. Take care and be well.